Like, nobody likes this deck. If you play this deck, we got some harsh words that we can't say to you on stream right now. So guys, don't say it on stream. Save it for the YouTube comments when this goes up to Master Duel Cali. Let us first start off by thanking our sponsor, right? The Cali Effect, king of games. That dog is always looking out for me, big dog. Master Duel Cali is in full effect because of him. Gotta thank the man. Gotta thank the man. He's such a he's so inspirational, guys. So Master Duel tier list, guys. In this particular tier list, we are going to be going over the best decks in Master Duel, all the way from tier 1 down to, oh no, what are you doing, baby? The cards that you should not be playing. And of course, I'm going to be explaining to you why. Now, of course, this is season 4 post the new cards such as Despia, Synchro, Despia, and everything else. Can't really remember the name, but I'm pretty sure you guys will let me know. How does Dinos still fare in Master Duel? Well, Dinos still are able to crush Yu-Gi-Oh boards very, very simply. Easily a tier 1.5 deck. Miscellaneous Saris to 2 helps this deck, or to 3 tremendously helps this deck, allowing them to break boards with ease. Also, Soul Eating Overraptor to 2 does seem like it hurts on the surface, but in actuality, not really. Soul Eating can be searched through Fossil Digs, which means you have up to 5 copies of this card in your deck. All you gotta do is summon Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and you can break boards. Same thing with Sky Striker. Some things may have changed around with this deck, but it's still a fairly fire tier 2 deck. Now, of course, in the TCG is just slightly different, as Sky Striker Ace Kagari is limited to 1 in Master Duel as opposed to the TCG. But the cool thing about Sky Striker is that you get Sky Striker Engage to 2. That is amazing, allowing you to draw an additional card and search the Sky Striker card you need. This deck is really good, very slow paced, but the slow and steady wins the race. It is that turtle that will win the race more often than not. Adamantibators, guys, in Master Duel, Adamantibators is a whole different ball game. Very, very solid tier 1.5 deck. A great player with Adamantibator, meaning that they have Block Dragon on their side. They have Union Carrier to be able to equip cards like Buster to their side of the field, or the aforementioned Block Dragon. This deck can make some very deadly boards, extremely scary boards. And with Maxi being a card inside of the format, not only can they play it to be able to replenish their hands, they can also use Crossout Designator to banish the Maxi, preventing you from drawing cards off of a special summon. This deck does struggle to go first, and we are in a best of 1 format. Also, Engage to 2 does not feel like a fair trade to Kagari at 1. Seeing that you only get 1 Kagari, you really only get 1 genuine chance of being able to recur your Engage, as opposed to the TCG, you get 3 chances to be able to add that spell card from your graveyard to your hand. While this deck does win the race in time, that could be a problem against some of the top decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! That just make ridiculous boards that Sky Striker is like, yo, what is going on here? It's not a bad deck. Tier 2 is still very fun. But Ultrageist losing Multi-Faker to 1 hurts a lot. Like, a lot. It is one of the most ridiculous things ever. Because it is a trap-based deck inside of Master Duel, which is built to be fast-paced. Sometimes it's not. Ultrageist definitely does suffer from Multi-Faker to 1. If this were to come off the list, this would be in a way better spot. Cyber Dragon is almost a, oh no, what are you doing, baby? Because we don't have certain cards that make Cyber Dragon what Cyber Dragon is. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon is banned. Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer does not exist. Cyber Dragon is best when you can supplement that Cyber Dragon Infinity with another monster, and often it involves Predaplant Vert Anaconda fusion summoning a monster, but it's still a fairly solid deck. Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon does a lot of the heavy lifting, being able to destroy your opponent's back row and attack multiple times directly with ease. This deck is actually fairly incredible. Same thing with Burning Abyss, another incredible Yu-Gi-Oh deck. This is, yo, Burning Abyss is sauce. Burning Abyss is the sauce, but it's rogue sauce, guys. It's rogue sauce. Almost the exact same reason why these two decks struggle or are identical. Cyber Dragon is actually an amazing deck at being able to go second and break boards. And when you are put in a situation when your opponent special summons into the extra monster zone a lot, well, Cyber Dragons turn anything into our Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon, which is free removal. So getting rid of Appaloosa is not hard at all for this deck. Outlich is a tier 1.5 type deck. Players have figured this deck out, which is thankfully a good thing. This deck is very good and able to compete, but sometimes doesn't have the necessary tools to actually win games outright. It's almost like the Sky Striker effect. If this deck is forced to go second into multiple negations, it can struggle. Well, actually, the opposite of Sky Striker. Sky Strikers don't have an amazing going first. This deck, going second, it's like, yo, it's not always the greatest thing ever. Also, Eldritch doesn't have another engine to attach itself to inside of Master Duel. So it's still a very, very solid tier 1.5 type deck. But players have figured it out for the most part. Pendulum is easily tier 2. The problem with Pendulum right now, which is really crazy, is that everything that this deck can do, decks like Adamantipator can do as well. Like there's a cute little FTK going around with this deck, and that's cool, but not only do hand traps exist, this deck can do those combos just a little bit better and allow you to play hand traps, whereas this deck is restricted from not being able to play hand traps in itself. Don't get me wrong, this is still a fairly good deck for some players. Ultimately, it's just not a deck that you should probably be consistently looking to play unless you are a Pendulum enthusiast. Earth Machine, guys, you already know, tier 1, baby. Let's go. Back to Rogue. This deck is really, really fun to play. It's one of those decks where if you are a fan of this particular deck, kind of like Pendulum, then yes, you'll be able to play it. It is missing a couple of cards to make it a little more consistent because, as you know, the current way to play Earth Machines by using Machina Citadel into an Infinite Track, the Infinite Track level 5 monster. God, I'm like drawing a complete blank with this particular card. It is Infinite Track Tunneler. That can get maxied, and you are definitely in with some problems. But when we do get Unclassed Spare, if we do get Unclassed Spare in Master Duel, this will be a lot. Brutal Dozer. My apologies. Brutal Dozer is the card that I'm thinking of. Thank you so much. This can become a lot better because you don't have to play so hard into Max C. Madolche feels like it should be here. I genuinely think Madolche is probably a cut above these decks. And the best thing about Madolche is that it can go second and just OTK. Like if you don't have hand traps, you don't have answers for this deck, you're getting OTK'd every single time. Where exactly are Prank Kids? Let's talk about it right after because I did not put them in here. You are getting OTK'd immediately off top, all right? It's just gonna happen, all right? And also their trap card, Madolche. Ooh, I'm drawing another blank for that particular trap card, but it's actually really good at being able to negate your opponent's card effects. It protects cards like Goes in Match, which this deck could do really well is play Floodgates. Madolche is definitely Promenade. Thank you so much. Madolche is definitely one of those decks that can actually set up a board and your opponent is going to have a hard time breaking it because they can always protect their Floodgate with Promenade, and they can OTK going second, and they can make some pretty good first turn boards. Heroes are a solid tier 2 deck. What I really hate about Heroes in Master Duel, what I genuinely hate about Heroes in Master Duel is that it's crazy. It's that you can't play Maxi in this deck. You Maxi your opponent, you'll draw Vision Hero, Ferris, Increase, like you'll draw so many bad parts for Heroes. It's like, it's not even funny. Like it just does not feel good to play Maxi in Heroes at all. And that's huge. That's huge. And Master Hero Dark Law is, no, it's not what it used to be, guys. Let's not live in 2015 anymore. Dark Law is good. It's not game changing. It's not game wrecking. But what Heroes do good at is that they can go second. They can play some really good board breaker cards, Forbidden Droplet, Lightning Storm, and they can OTK you. They really can give a deck fits because they can play through interruptions and they can OTK very well. Drytron Herald, this is still a tier 1 deck, unfortunately. This is a deck that we really want to throw away, right, chat? Like, nobody likes this deck. If you play this deck, we got some harsh words that we can't say to you on stream right now. So, guys, don't say it on stream. Save it for the YouTube comments when this goes up to Master Duel Cali. Again, being able to summon Herald of Ultimateness is almost a win button sometimes because you have multiple negates in your hand. I hope somebody kaijus you every single time that you do play Herald of Ultimateness. And even if you do, a player does get around Herald of Ultimateness, a lot of times there are Herald of Orange Light to be able to follow, to be able to get 2 types of monster negation. So very, very unfun to play against, but excuse me. This deck is very this deck is very, very unfun to play against at times. We actually seen another Drytron deck that we thought was cool, but the Ultimateness, don't do that. Yeah. You guys can hate me for this. You guys can say you hate me for this. I hate me for this, okay? You can say, yo, Cali, I hate you. Orcus is the best deck in the world. And I'll be like, you know what? I hate me for this. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give it to you. But Orcus is not a good deck. The biggest problem with Orcus is that any hand trap, like, any hand trap, Ghost Sister and Spooky Dog. Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood stops this card. Like, it's like, yo, what are we doing? Like, seriously, Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood is actually, like, effective against this deck. I know we thought we wouldn't find one, but yeah, Orcus is just not a good deck. Like, any hand trap really puts it in a very tough spot, if not stops it. And it's not necessarily an effective deck by itself. It needs to use Phantom Knight, which Phantom Knight is just a better deck by itself. Paleozoic, another solid rogue deck. This deck isn't that bad. I mean, Dingirsu in the graveyard summon itself. Lots of cool dark plays. It's really, really fun to play. It's rogue. Paleozoic, totally awesome to 1, does suck. Trap cards aren't as good as you would want them to be, but it's solid deck. Solid. Just solid. You know what I mean? Oh, Prank Kids is right here. What are we talking about? I'm not listening to you guys anymore. Prank Kids is like tier 1.5. Tier 1.5, tier 2. You know, I thought that Mystic Mind banned would be a minus for Prank Kids because this is one of the better decks to go, yo, Mystic Mind you, Prank Kids full combo, make Battle Butler, wipe your board, and then control the game from there. But Prank Kids are a solid, very, very, very solid strategy. Battle Butler allowing you to wipe your opponent's board twice. The problem with Prank Kids is Maxi. Getting Maxi'd when you start your Prank Kids combo is probably one of the worst feelings ever. It is a terrible feeling. It really is. Because you either have to stop and they kind of like pop off, or you have to go and you give them the answer. Also, Battle Butler loses easy to cards like Book of Moon, Forbidden Droplet, Forbidden Chalice. It sucks. There's no engines for Prank Kids to be able to supplement itself in. There's no Destiny or Phoenix Enforcer. There's no Wandering Griffin Rider. It is what it is. I would also have to say the same thing about Rockets. Rockets are just good, guys. Rockets are just good. You get your White Dragon, Wyver Buster. You get your Black Dragon, Callow Surf, and add 2. Yo, the shit's cracked. It's cracked. You can make some really good boards. Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres is still an FTK, especially when you pair it with Dragon Maid Tiding and Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. This deck can still play, and Chaos Dragon Levianeer is still a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Solid 1.5 deck. Salomon Gray, best deck. Let's go! Look, guys. Look. Master Duel has been out for some time, right? I have lost maybe 2 games 2 games in total with Solomon Great. Now, granted, that doesn't mean much because it doesn't change the fact that Solomon Great's just maybe tier 2, maybe. Is it bias? Is it tier 2? Can it be tier 2? Can it be tier? Probably not. So the best thing about Solomon Great is that you get Solomon Great Rage and you get Solomon Great Roar. If you can set those up, you win. You win. It's really hard for you to lose those type of games because not only can you play under Nibiru after that, Maxi really replenishes your hand. You have Access Code Talker, which is 5,300 attack, can attack twice. Your games get solved fairly quick with Solomon Great. The problem is Solomon Great doesn't do a great job against like break my board type decks. Like you need those hand traps to prevent them from making that board. Because if they make that board, it's just like, all right, let's go to that invisible game too. Phantom Knight, solid tier 2 deck. This can make the Rongo combo. This can make True King of All Calamities. This could play Orcus if that's what you wanted to do. It's so versatile. It's a really, really solid deck. Thunder Dragons, they are exactly who we thought they were. They're not a good deck. Didn't think that Thunder Dragon Colossus would change too much, especially when you put certain cards to 1, like Thunder Dragon Hawk. That's at 1. It's just not a good deck right now. And then Tri-Brigade is easily a tier 1 Yu-Gi-Oh deck. This deck is actually, if you ask me, this is the best deck of the entire format. The biggest reason is because this deck is a 1 card full combo with the ability to still be able to play Zodiac cards that gives you access to Zodiac Dryden and make a Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. This is hands down the best deck in Master Duel. There's not really other better decks, and the engine is small enough for you to be able to play enough hand traps to be able to stop your opponent. True Draco, I fell in love with the sauce. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that 3 dynamite and everything would be ultra powerful. It proved to be decent. It was decent, but it doesn't stop True Draco from its initial problems, not being able to recover very well. Diagram's still at 1. When Diagram comes to 3, probably could look at it different, but then Dino might just take over as the best deck of the entire game. Virtual World, easily a tier 1 deck, guys. You already know VFD, which is True King of All Calamities, is still a problematic card. Seriously, this card needs to be banned. And I hope when we do get a ban list, Herald of Ultimate gets banned, Eva gets banned, Union Carrier gets banned, True King of All Calamities gets banned, Rongo gets banned, DD Dynamite gets banned. I hope, especially all the mindless FTKs, I really hope all that gets banned. And Solomon Great becomes the best deck because they give us three of everything we need. I think we have 3 of everything. So yeah. But until then, making a True King of All Calamities and being able to set up a Virtual World Chuche, just in case you had a way to stop the calamities, to destroy it, is cracked. Now, this is post the Synchro, so I'm going to make a very, very hot take. This is post the new set. This deck is kind of cracked. This deck is kind of cracked. Kind of cracked. Like, kind of. And allow me to explain. Allow me to explain why this deck is kind of cracked, right? So, we got Baron de Fleur inside of the new set, which is huge for this deck. This deck can make a Hockley Fibrix play, which allows it to go to full combo. It allows you to get your Zombie World and your Doom King Balladrock in graveyard. And then when you special summon the Doom King Balladrock, Vampire Suckers on your side of the field, you draw a card. You then use your Christian Hockley Fibrix, turning it into a Formula Synchron, drawing another card, and you Synchro summon into Baron de Fleur, right? You get your negation from Baron de Fleur, and then on your next turn, your Baron de Fleur can shuffle itself back into the extra deck, special summon the monster. You can draw a card then, or you can draw a card from your Doom King Balladrock. Like the way that this deck just replaces all of the pieces that it needs while still being a very good mid-range deck. It can combo, it can control. I think that this is a very solid low-end, maybe high tier 2, low tier 1.5 deck. Zodiac is easily tier 1. Dryden is at 1 in here. Zeus is unfortunately at 1, but Trident is 100% at 1. Our very first. Oh no! What are you doing, baby? It's Dark Magician over here, guys. I'm just playing. But we have seen Master Duel came out in January or February. However long Master Duel is out, we have seen one Blue Eyes player win one game. That's it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Blue Eyes is just not a great deck at all. Same thing with Dark Magician. These two decks get better support as time goes on. If we get the stuff from the TCG to Master Duel, yes, time goes on. I mean, to be honest with you, yeah, this is essentially this. Like, Pure Zoo is still better than a lot of these decks, but this is essentially this. But yeah, these two decks are money traps, guys. If you get into the game because you love anime, don't play this. Don't play this. And to be honest with you, don't play this either because you're playing it wrong if you love anime, and that's why you decided to pick this deck for competitive reasons. Code Talker is tier 2. I don't think you guys like Code Talker is ridiculous. It can stop Nibiru by giving your opponent the Nightmare Corruptor Ibli. And it can stop you from special summoning period by you locking you in the process. It was ridiculously, this deck is just ridiculously good. It's really, really good. It sets up a U-Lock, and then it can make Access Code Talker to go for game. It's one of the other decks that can make Access Code Talker with the ability to attack twice, and it can make it over 5,300. Galaxy Eyes. There's going to be some people in chat right now. Right now. They're going to be... Yo, my Galaxy Eyes decks, I've been trying to tell you, Callie. This deck beats block. See, right there, right? See, that's what I'm... Hey, look. I'm don't shoot the messenger, dog. Utopia. Look, guys, if your deck is from an anime, more often than not, it's an oh no, what are you doing, baby? Now, where do I put Despia? Where do I put the new Despia strategy? Yo, it gets its ticket. So I hope players are not trying to play Despia like how we play in the TCG, like how we play in Master Duel. Despia is a really good engine, a fairly good deck. It can be played in Shadal. It can be played in Invoked. It can be played in Dark Lord. It can be played so many different ways. But the biggest thing about Despia is that this Aluber monster can search branded cards for free. It can search a fusion card, which allows you to gap certain situations. It's a great card. It's a great deck. It's a great solid deck. And we'll actually show you some more duels showing it off as a great deck. I originally wanted to put this deck down here, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in Rogue just because I love you guys. This is strictly because I love you guys. This is because I don't want all of your decks to be bad. This deck is not great. Junk Synchron version is good. This deck's not great. Some of this deck's biggest inboards are very depressing. It just doesn't work, guys. It doesn't work. And the new Stardust card, don't buy it. Speedroid. Is Speedroid here? Is Speedroid here? Speedroid? Maybe? Nah. Okay. We'll put Speedroid in tier 1.5. Speedroid is kind of like Adamantipators because it can make some really powerful boards. And you have the room to play the cards to stop hand traps like Crossout Designator, Call by the Grave, stuff like that. You can make some really, really, really amazing combos, right? And I think one of the best things about this deck is that it has great recovery. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon is a problem, guys. Doesn't need Appaloosa, unlike some decks that need Appaloosa. You know what I mean? It can make double Cosmo Blazar Dragon. Solid deck. Suships? Is this the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh? Hell no. This deck's ass. It's ass. It's ass. Yo, this deck's complete dog water. Don't. It's ass. It's an anime. You know what? For a deck that's not an anime deck, it should have been an anime deck because it's that bad. It's pretty. It's bad. And then Blackwings. Unfortunately, I want them to be rogue, but I'm not gonna cap Blackwings. They have full armor master, and in Synchro Festival, this deck is cracking. But outside of that, it's not working, dog. It's not working. You guys gonna have to find something else because this ain't gonna work. All right. Yo, so some solid decks. Ignisters are tier 2. Dragon Maids are tier 2. Both of those decks are tier 2. Dragon Maids has a really good combo potential. Or not combo potential, grind game. And once it gets going, summoning Dragon Maid Shoe, games can be over. Ignister is, I mean, you would kind of point it like a deck like this, like a combo deck. But that Arrival is really, really hard to beat. Unchained's probably rogue. Unchained's closer to rogue. You got to really know what you're doing with Unchained. And, you know, Dimensional Shifter, some of these decks just don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't care. Doesn't really care. You know what I mean? Like, some of these, you know, you got to know what you're doing. ABCs, oh no, what are you doing, baby? Dragon Buster is at 1. Oh no, what are you doing, baby? You're putting yourself in a really bad position. Fluffles, I feel like Fluffles is solid tier 1.5. I kind of regret not putting Fluffles in here. I kind of do. Why is, okay, Shadal is 1. Shadal is 1. I think as much trash that we give that deck, it is 1. It is 1. You know what I mean? You know, Infernable is 1. Thinking. And yeah, Infernable still has all its cards, right? If Infernable has all its cards, it's still 1.5. Resonator, Subterror, Tingye, Yangzing, those are decks you should not be playing. That's a oh no, what are you doing, baby? All 3 of them at once. But that is all that I have for the tier list, guys. That's all that we got for the tier list. That's all that we got. Crazy.